So obviously we're going into the second season of Mayor of Kingstown, which is part of the Taylor Sheridan universe. And it's fascinating to me because I'm obsessed with how lawless Yellowstone is. Cause I'm like, it's set in our world and people are just murdering people and no one gets kind of called out for it. And then Mayor of Kingstown is that times like 12.
Yes.
And so for you as an actor and playing Ian, who is kind of in the midst of that like lawlessness,
Huh.
what has been the most fun about exploring that side of this universe and how Taylor Sheridan writes these characters?
I mean, Taylor and I go back a long way. This is the first script. Mayor was the first script he ever wrote. He was my acting coach 15 years ago. And I went in and said, dude, I'm from this town that has 9 penitentiaries. And I'm a songwriter. I'm a musician originally. And I know you can write, because I'd never seen a person be able to get into character and build worlds. And we would just sit there and talk about what we would do. We would dream, basically. And I said, I want to write this. And he's a naturally curious person. So he's like, are you kidding me? There are 9 penitentiaries. I went, yeah, prison for women, maximum security. Like, and so we just got into it. And we built this dream. And I brought over a printer one day and I said, you can write this. We can go. And, and we did. And it's just been, it was difficult to get to the first season off the ground, because trying to get any TV show going is a pain, and it's almost unheard of to get as many as he's got going now. But as we tried to sell it, he went, well, come and work on come and do Wind River. I got that off the ground. And I went like, cool. And I met Renner, and Renner was stellar. And then, okay, come and work on Yellowstone. And then you can learn more about being a producer and learn other aspects other than just acting. And then he said, are you sitting down? We sold Mayor. Let's go and drive to Texas right now. We got to write these last 5 for season 1. And so what it is you get, the train is rolling so fast. And because we did so much groundwork originally, we can drop in these darker scenes. And we've always been fascinated with the informal economy of drugs and crime. And I'm from a prison town, and it was based on a guy I knew, Mike McCluskey, was based on a guy I knew in real life. And these are the most brutal, unfair places in the world. They exist in the 21st century in our society, and Taylor's great at painting them. And then for us, it's what stories do we want to tell, and what, that there's a scene in episode 1 of the second season that I'm not allowed to talk about, but you might have seen it. And it is so explosive. It involves a pit bull, and it is just, and that's based on a real occurrence. And so if you build in the authenticity, it's more fascinating than making stuff up. And so for me, it's just, it's just profoundly satisfying to play this character, to play these scenes. And, I'm from this town. So the first year we shot in a prison that's decommissioned now, that I drove by every day as a kid, that, I had friends' parents work there, to moving to Pittsburgh. And you get to do all of the things that you've always wanted to do in life as a fan and as an artist, and then as a creator. It's exceptional. I'm just deeply grateful to Taylor Sheridan for all of it.
I do have a slight now detour because you just said Pittsburgh. Where in Pittsburgh?
All over.
Oh, I'm from Newcastle.
Yeah, no, we shot
so like right outside
everywhere.
Yeah, because it's funny, like what I love, because the show, correct me if I'm wrong, is supposed to be set in Michigan, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So it's very funny because it's like, for a lot of times in cinema, they're like, Pittsburgh looks enough like Michigan. And I'm like, yeah, well, my family also is from Michigan. And so
me too.
That's correct.
Me too. I mean, the guy, my uncle, Hugh Dillon, who I'm named after, that's where he lived. So, I mean, when Taylor and I were going, well, we can't make it Kingston, Canada. We have to call it Kingstown. He is from Texas. So we're trying to find, well, where is it? And it's that Eastern kind of seaboard we're looking for. And Michigan just was it.
Mm-hmm.
And Pittsburgh checks all the boxes. There are some giant decommissioned prisons there that we used. The
Yeah.
town is great. The people are great, and it's just it's excellent.
And then you guys can go ahead and go get Permane Brothers after you wrap for the day and get
Right,
French fries on your sandwich. It's funny because so one of my favorite movies of all time is Hell or High Water. And it is to me like what makes Taylor Sheridan such a good writer. And
Yeah.
so for you, having worked with him very closely on writing and in multiple projects of his, how does it kind of work on the writing side, like formatting the layered approach that these stories have? Because Hell or High Water on the surface is like two white guys are angry they don't have money, but underneath it, it is two brothers who have been wronged by the bank so much that they are at their breaking point. And it's like you take what is on paper, but make it so much deeper in the actions.
Well, I think that goes back to the genius of Taylor, because I think because he basically was a teacher, you know, an acting coach for so long, and had read so, and he's a very well-read and curious person. And he always wants the truth. And he always, and even as coaching, he'd go back to, well, what's the truth of the scene? And he was an actor himself. So he'd be frustrated when things don't make any sense and there's no reason, you know, he's always asking why. And I think once he realized he can write and write well, he used all of his experiences, and he knows the pitfalls of, you know, shortchanging a story and, you know, not really developing it. And so he drives right into the depth of it. And he's got that, that gear that is just, it's unpredictable. He just will write. You know, what's great about him is he doesn't use a formula. He writes, he tells a real story. If you hear him tell a story just verbally, it's fascinating. And it is that unpredictability that we all relate to, because, oh, it's fascinating. It isn't, I mean, he's predisposed to write about some of the more darker impulses in humanity. And I think it's just naturally more interesting. It's, you know, sometimes it's cold and unflinching, and he's an uncompromising writer. But in that, his storytelling is uncomfortable. And I think that's what keeps us riveted.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think he's one of our best currently working. I love, there's not been a Taylor Sheridan thing I've watched and been angry that I spent time watching it.
No, he's a
I think
world-class
he's
writer.
so good.
He is a world-class writer, and he has got an authentic American voice. And that's as simple as that. And right now he's written the most dangerous show on television. So I'm like, I'm all in.
And with Mayor of Kingstown, what is really interesting about the second season is I remember when the first season dropped, because my mom and I had just watched Friday Night Lights.
Right.
And so she was like, I'm really excited about this Jeremy Renner show, only for Kyle Chandler to be in one episode.
Yeah.
And so that is what I know from that season before I watched it myself. That's like the knowledge I had. With this season, obviously it's coming at a time where people know the show, and we're all grateful that Jeremy Renner is alive and well and posting the greatest Instagrams I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yes.
Just my favorite pictures I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But how is it knowing that,
He
like,
sent me a thing 3 days ago that just, you know, because he's just such a sensitive, decent, he has so much heart, and he's such a fighter, and I just know he's unstoppable. And I got a just the funniest video from him that was so profane and so funny that it just made the tension I had from everything coming to a stop New Year's Day with him and that accident, to the relief from seeing him funny and profane in a video, say, hey, bud, I just, it's, you know, that's part of it. Is you go from one emotion to the next. And today it's just a pleasure being here talking to you, because it's like, okay, let's talk about the show.
Yeah, and it's truly that same emotion happened with fans too. When we saw his Instagram post where it's like, oh my God, is he okay? And then it is him with glasses on, crooked. And he was like, can't really type, but I'm here.
funny. And I mean, even with this show, this second season, he's like Robert De Niro in Raging Bull. And I work with him. He's like a brother. It's a family member. And it's like, I just wanted to go to the hospital and find him on New Year's Day. But when I look at his work, I'm like, dude, you just did the second season. This is a guy on top of his game, and he just delivered. And he's so committed, he's so passionate, the crew loves him, and it's just a testament to his natural ability to commit. And that's what he's going to do with his recovery. He's already committed. He's like, okay, here I am, and now we're all in trouble when that guy gets back on his feet.
And what's really exciting about your character in particular is Ian's kind of on not the outskirts of the family, but he works with the family, and he's kind of
grew up with them. Yeah,
he's the character who is not a family member, but is in the same moment. What is your favorite thing, without spoiling too much, that you got to do with your character in season 2 that you didn't get to do in season 1?
That opening episode Taylor wrote. With the pit bull that I'm talking about, that I'm not allowed to talk about, that is so much fun. And Taylor said, did you like that? And I went, oh man, that's like, he's coached me on 75 episodes of a show called Flashpoint, coached me on a bunch of other stuff, written for me. And that is a gift. As going back to your original question, as an actor and on a show that I've created, when he laid that down in the script, and I read it, I was, oh my God, that is outrageous and so much fun. And the Renner character coming up, and my partner, Stevie, played by Derek Webster. I love the relationship between those two. Derek is on point. He's just a killer actor. He really digs in this season too. And that's such a pleasure to see, because the first 10 were written when we went to camera, and then we cast. So we got to see what Derek did and how Derek and Renner play off each other. And it just opens up this whole family, really, of characters that we were introduced to in season 1. And then it just gets intimate and funny and bizarre in season 2. And it's got a velocity that you can't look away from. It's just moving, and like, you're constantly, I'm so tempted to swear, but I'm going to stop. You're constantly, holy, put in whatever word you want.
I mean, listen, I'm from Pittsburgh, so you know how we all swear. So I'm always swearing in interviews.
Yeah.
One thing you said you were a musician, and I want to end on this because Yellowstone did it in a way I started crying, because I did not think they were like, I didn't know what was going on. And they played The Weary Kind, a song written for the movie Crazy Heart. And it's because the musician was a cast member on Yellowstone. Yeah. And you, as a musician, is that something that you want to do in a Taylor Sheridan show? And
he's been great. I have a song called Ashes I actually co-wrote with Taylor. That's in season 1, in when Iris, played by Emma Laird, goes into the gang house. So it's on a Headstones album that's out now that you can buy, called Flight Risk, and the song is called Ashes. It's written by me and Taylor Sheridan, and it doesn't pop out of the show, but it's a beautiful song. And then I've got one this year with the Headstones, my band, called Everything or Nothing at All, and it's in, so yeah, I'm all over. I mean, I'm a musician, and that's what Taylor also, his writing is so lyrical, and there's a beauty in the way he writes that is very much like a musician.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things that he does, is if someone is in there and they've written their music, kind of put it as part of the story, because it helps. Crazy Heart's another one of I like Jeff Bridges movies, as I keep just saying. Yes. But I watched Crazy Heart and was like, that's just the song from Crazy Heart in the middle of Yellowstone. Yeah. Thank you so much for talking with me today. I can't wait for everyone to get to see season 2 of Mayor of Kingstown. And I think they're going to love it.
Yeah, my pleasure. Anytime.
Have a great one.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.